Hi, I'm back again. I thought I'd just film this one straight away and I'll upload it sort of the following week. I will do a little bit more about the egg donation process. So you've got 3 options with egg donation. It's exclusive donor, so you basically get all of the eggs, you don't share them with anybody. That can be a known donor, so it might be a relative that's donating to you, it might be a friend, it might be somebody you've recruited. You can use there's agencies that will find people for you as well at a cost. They seem quite expensive, but there is that option. Or there's shared eggs, which is normally, now on average, it's somebody going through IVF themselves sharing their eggs. It gets them the cost of their IVF for free normally. So the clinic I'm at, they will save £3,600, I think it's about the mark. It doesn't pay for their drugs or anything like that. It will just pay for the IVF process, and in return you'll get half their eggs, and I'll go through that now. So because they do sort of guarantee you a certain minimal amount. So I think it's so eggs are usually shared between 2 recipients. If fewer than 8 eggs are collected, all the eggs will be allocated to the first couple. So it isn't just people that are going through IVF that share their eggs. There are exclusive donors, and then if they've got 2 customers, I guess it's customers, that both want to do shared eggs and they've got the same characteristics, they'll share that batch of eggs. But I think it's normally down to waiting list. So the person that's higher than you in the waiting list will be recipient 1, and recipient 2 will be the other person. Recipient 1 in a shared cycle, the woman donating is recipient 1. So if they get less than 8 eggs, all of them will go to recipient 1, and then recipient 2 will be made number 1 on another round, because they'll have to find a new donor, or there might be, that woman might donate again. So basically you're guaranteed 4 eggs. So yeah, the minimum number of eggs for sharing is 8. And if you're exclusive, so if you've got exclusive donor that they're all yours, you will get a minimum 8. If your donor doesn't produce 8 eggs, then you'll receive the total number of eggs which your donor produces, together with a refund of half the fee. So if you were doing a shared donor with care, it's different from each of their clinics. The cost is £5,665. If you do an exclusive donor, it's £3,200 more, so it's £8,885. If you find your own donor, it's £5,665. So you could have an exclusive donor that you found and it be the same price as a shared donor. The third option is using frozen eggs. Development of methods of egg freezing has recently allowed a very different approach to the use of donated eggs. In situations where a recipient has had to cancel their treatment after the donor has commenced treatment, or a donor cycle is specifically set up for the purpose, the donor's eggs may be frozen. The significant advantage of using frozen eggs is that there's no need to sync between your donor cycle and the recipient, so the treatment cycle can be set up at the recipient's convenience. The other advantage is that only mature eggs are frozen. Yeah, so the expectation I thought was pretty cool. By 2023, they're setting up an agency. This isn't care, this is just somebody is setting up an agency for donor conceived children, because that means that the first sort of donor conceived children will be around age 16, 18, and they can start to find out information about their donor parent. So the donors are asked to leave a letter. Some people don't leave a letter, but it's just to kind of sum up why they're donating their eggs. It can be a nice message, it can be a poem, it can be like good luck for the future. And then with this agency, at age 16 they can find out things like physical description, height and weight, eye, hair and skin colour, year and country of birth, ethnic group, whether they had any genetic children at the time, their occupation, religion and interests, whether the donor was adopted or donor conceived, marital status at the time of donation, details of any screening tests and medical history, skills, reason for donating, and a goodwill message and a pen portrait of themselves. And then 18, they can get all that information plus their last known address, date of birth, town and their full names. So that's pretty good. Also with this agency, they can find out if there was any siblings conceived, so if they've got any donor siblings. The thing with this, which is a good thing, I've always decided, and Tom agrees, that our child will know they're donor conceived. If they choose to join the register, they can, but they can't be found out by any siblings they may have unless they're registered. So for example, if there was, from one batch of eggs, there was 3 kids made and only two of them registered to go onto this agency, they won't know about the 3rd one. Unless. How are donors and recipient matched? Physical characteristics such as hair, eye colour, height, weight, build, complexion, race, blood group are used for matching. There's lots on the HFEA website about donor conceived children and egg donation, sperm donation, so it's worth having a good read of that. It goes into maximum 2 embryos can be replaced. That's a debate you need to have with yourself and your clinic. They will try and push you to only have 1 because with multiple pregnancies there's more risk of not going full-term pregnancy, so like premature labour. There's an increased rate of miscarriage. Also, it doesn't actually make success rates any higher, it's only like 5% or something, so it's not that big. We've decided, because I've got a small womb, and they've already said because my womb's small, it's going to be harder for me to have a positive pregnancy test, and also I've got an increased risk of miscarriage. So we kind of thought, well, putting 2 in there and the potential of them turning to multiple pregnancy might be a bit of a risk, so we sort of, that cleared it for us. We're just going to have 1. The counselling session we had at the end was a bit, it would have been good if I was pregnant, but I just got told all that. It was quite, you know, there's a few negative things went on, and then they went into how you're going to tell a child, and I said, she goes, when are you going to tell it? And I was like, straight away, it's going to know through storybooks. And then she kind of went, so the way we recommend telling them is through storybooks. And it was like, I've just said that. And then she got all these storybooks out, and then she was how you can explain to a child that they're conceived through donor sperm or donor egg, whichever way. And they had ones for homosexual couples and heterosexual couples, and it was quite interesting. It was cool to see. And then she said, oh, this couple had it made for them, they had it illustrated with the names in, their dog, their cat, and I could just kind of feel Tom glowing, because that's completely our personality. And he does graphic design, so I could already know his head was just going off on one of what he'd do for our child, and he wanted to make a colourful one, and we were like kind of glowing reading this book. And then I kind of felt it from him as well. It was kind of a but you know, this might not happen. So it was a really good session to kind of go over about the agency and, you know, the ethical side of it. But I think the whole how do you tell your child thing should have been maybe when we had been successful, because it made me quite sad, because I could kind of, my mind went, and I could picture us, you know, creating this thing together when I was expecting, and yeah, it broke my heart a little bit, and his, but you know, we'll power through. And so hopefully that kind of shows you what you'd expect, and the little bits of information you'll get from care, which is loads if you go with care. I'm sure the clinics do as well, but yeah, that's that. So I'll do another update on what I'm doing to grow my womb, what's been happening, the side effects I've been having for the HRT, little supplements I've been doing, things I've considered doing, not done, that sort of thing. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate all your messages. It's so nice to get, you know, best of luck, thinking of you, oh, this happened to me, it worked for me, this is what I did, oh, you know, thank you for sharing, I don't feel so alone. It really does mean a lot, because one reason I started doing these videos was to also help me to talk about it, because I try talking about it with my friends, but you know, it's hard for them. They can't put themselves in my situation, but I wasn't feeling like I was getting the support I needed, and I just felt like talking about it, even though I'm just talking about it to a camera, has helped a little bit. I talk to Tom a lot, but sometimes you need to talk to somebody else that's not in it with you. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate the support. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye guys.